Imagine waking up one morning to a headline that immediately sends shockwaves through the NBA world. Luka Dončić, the Slovenian basketball prodigy, the face of the Dallas Mavericks, the player destined to be the next NBA legend, is now officially a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, you heard that right. In one of the most unexpected and jaw-dropping trades in basketball history, the Lakers send Anthony Davis, the defensive powerhouse and a key component of their 2020 championship run, to the Mavericks in return. This trade isn't just about swapping two superstar players, it's about altering the very landscape of the NBA. The entire Western Conference is now forced to reckon with this new dynamic. The Lakers, with LeBron James nearing the end of his career, see Luka as the future, the player who can carry the team into the next era. Meanwhile, the Mavericks, led by Luka for years, are reshaping their identity by bringing in a proven champion like Davis, who can provide the defensive presence and rebounding that Dallas has sorely lacked. But how did this all come to be? How did a trade of this magnitude, one that no one saw coming, unfold? What does it mean for both teams' immediate future, their playoff aspirations, and their legacy in the league? And perhaps the biggest question, what does this move mean for the future of the NBA itself? In this video, we'll unpack every aspect of this groundbreaking trade. We'll explore how both Luka and Davis fit into their new homes, what challenges each team will face going forward, and how this trade could change the NBA's power balance for years to come. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into what might be the biggest NBA trade in decades. When it comes to the NBA, trades are never just about swapping players. They represent a seismic shift in the balance of power, the reimagining of franchise futures, and the rewriting of legacies. Trades have the power to redefine a team's trajectory, influence championship aspirations, and even shift the entire landscape of the league. The Blockbuster trade between Luka Dončić and Anthony Davis is a perfect example of this. It's not just about two all-stars changing teams. It's about the future of two of the NBA's most iconic franchises, the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Dončić, a generational talent with a game that blends elite scoring, playmaking, and basketball IQ, is now heading to the Lakers, where he will join forces with LeBron James. The pairing of Luka, who has the potential to dominate the league for the next decade, with LeBron, the reigning king of basketball, creates an immediate title contender for Los Angeles. Luka is no stranger to carrying a team on his shoulders, but now, for the first time in his career, he has the opportunity to play alongside one of the greatest players ever, with the chance to learn from him and eventually take over as the face of the franchise when LeBron's time comes to an end. On the other side of the trade, we have Anthony Davis, a defensive juggernaut and one of the league's most versatile big men. While Davis's offensive game often takes a back seat to his unmatched rim protection and rebounding, his skill set is invaluable. Davis is heading to Dallas, where he will become the cornerstone of the Mavericks' defense, something they have sorely lacked since their championship run in 2011. His arrival in Dallas will instantly elevate the Mavericks' defensive capabilities, pairing him with a lethal offensive weapon in Kyrie Irving. But Davis's biggest challenge will be staying healthy, a question that has loomed over his career. If he can remain on the floor, he could transform the Mavericks into a true championship contender, reshaping the team's identity. But the real question we need to ask is, why did this trade happen? Both teams have their reasons, but the motivations are deeply rooted in each franchise's goals for the future. The Lakers are eyeing sustainability and preparing for life after LeBron, while the Mavericks are looking to solidify their playoff chances with a more balanced team. So, what does this trade mean for both teams in the short and long term? What are the gains and losses for each side, and how will this move impact the NBA's future landscape? In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about this historic trade. From the strategic moves behind the scenes to the potential impact on the league as a whole, we'll examine how Luka and Davis fit with their new teams and what this trade means for the future of the NBA. The ramifications of this deal will be felt across the league for years to come, and we're here to give you the inside scoop. Luka Dončić's story is nothing short of extraordinary, and his rise to NBA stardom is a testament to his unique talent, determination, and basketball IQ. Born in Ljubljana, Slovenia, Luka was destined for greatness from a very young age. His journey to becoming one of the brightest stars in basketball began when he was just 13 years old. Even at such a young age, Luka's basketball skills were undeniable, catching the eye of one of Europe's most prestigious clubs, Real Madrid. At just 13, he made the bold decision to leave his home country and embark on a professional career in one of the best youth systems in the world. By the time he was 16, Luka was already playing with the senior team at Real Madrid, an accomplishment most players can only dream of. His early years in Spain were marked by rapid development, as Luka's game matured in ways few had anticipated. His ability to seamlessly blend European and American styles of play made him an incredibly versatile player on both ends of the floor. It was during his time at Real Madrid that Luka truly showcased his potential, leading the club to a EuroLeague title in 2018 while earning EuroLeague MVP honors. His performances on the international stage left fans and scouts alike in awe, and it was clear that the young Slovenian had the potential to take his talents to the NBA. In 2018, Luka Dončić declared for the NBA draft, where his name was called with the third overall pick. Although initially selected by the Atlanta Hawks, it didn't take long for the Dallas Mavericks to pull off a trade, acquiring Luka in exchange for a future first-round pick. This trade would prove to be one of the most significant in NBA history, as the Mavericks secured the future face of their franchise. Luka's transition to the NBA was seamless. From his rookie season, he immediately proved that he was no ordinary player. Averaging 21.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, Luka captured the NBA Rookie of the Year award in a season that made it clear he was destined for greatness. His poise, vision, and ability to control the game as a 19-year-old were unprecedented, drawing comparisons to some of the greatest players to ever play the game. The way Luka played with maturity beyond his years was something no one could ignore. As Luka's career progressed, he only got better. Each season, he continued to break records and exceed expectations. He made multiple All-Star appearances and quickly established himself as one of the league's most prolific scorers and playmakers. Luka's ability to take over games, particularly in clutch moments, has been a defining feature of his career. His step-back three-pointer, his finesse around the basket, and his savvy passing make him a matchup nightmare for opponents. However, despite Luka's personal success, the Dallas Mavericks struggled to build a solid team around him. Year after year, Luka was forced to carry a heavy load on offense with limited support from his teammates. This imbalance became increasingly frustrating for the young star, as he continuously led the Mavericks to playoff appearances but never seemed to have the supporting cast to make a deep postseason run. The inability to surround Luka with the right pieces led to growing tensions and, at times, uncertainty about his long-term future in Dallas. As Luka's frustrations mounted, rumors about his potential departure began to surface, with speculation that he might seek greener pastures if the team didn't make significant improvements. But despite the challenges, Luka remained a force to be reckoned with, consistently putting up historic numbers and pushing the Mavericks to new heights. His drive and competitive spirit have made him not just the face of the Mavericks, but one of the brightest stars in the NBA. Now, as Luka makes the leap to the Los Angeles Lakers, it marks a new chapter in his already legendary career. Joining forces with LeBron James gives Luka the chance to compete for championships on a team with a rich history of success, but it also raises the stakes for Luka. The move to Los Angeles comes with both tremendous opportunity and immense pressure to fulfill the high expectations placed upon him. Will Luka continue to grow into one of the greatest players to ever play the game, or will the challenge of leading a team with championship aspirations prove to be too much? What's clear is that Luka Dončić's journey is far from over. His future in the NBA is bright, and his impact on the league will only continue to grow as he steps into this new role with the Lakers. Whether he leads them to more championships or reshapes the way the game is played, Luka Dončić's legacy is only just beginning. On the other side of the monumental trade is Anthony Davis, a player whose talent has never been in question but whose career has been marred by injury struggles. Born in Chicago, Illinois, Davis was always destined for basketball greatness. His story began at a young age, but it was during his time at the University of Kentucky that he truly made his mark. Under the guidance of coach John Calipari, Davis quickly developed into one of the most dominant players in college basketball. He was a defensive juggernaut, earning NCAA Defensive Player of the Year honors in 2012 while leading Kentucky to a national championship. His impact on the court was undeniable, with his ability to protect the rim, rebound, and score efficiently making him one of the most highly regarded prospects in recent memory. When the New Orleans Pelicans selected Davis with the first overall pick in the 2012 NBA draft, expectations were sky high. He was viewed as the future of the franchise, a player who could carry the team to new heights. From the very beginning, Davis showcased his elite skill set. He quickly became one of the league's best defenders, earning multiple NBA All-Defensive Team selections and winning the NBA Blocks Leader title multiple times. His combination of size, length, athleticism, and basketball IQ made him a nightmare for opposing offenses. But despite his individual success, the Pelicans struggled to build a competitive team around him, never reaching the levels of success that matched Davis's immense potential. Davis's frustration with the lack of team success in New Orleans led to his request for a trade in 2019. The situation was clear. Davis wanted to compete for championships, and he needed a better supporting cast to do so. Enter the Los Angeles Lakers, a team in need of a transformative player who could help them return to glory. The Lakers, led by LeBron James, were seeking another superstar to team up with their aging legend and build a new title-contending team. In one of the most impactful trades in recent history, the Lakers sent Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and multiple draft picks to the Pelicans in exchange for Anthony Davis. This move paid immediate dividends. In his first season with the Lakers, Davis helped lead them to a 2020 NBA championship, marking his first NBA title and the Lakers' 17th overall. His elite defense, combined with his offensive versatility, made him the perfect complement to LeBron James, as the two formed one of the most feared duos in NBA history. Davis's ability to dominate on both ends of the floor played a pivotal role in the Lakers' success, and his performance in the 2020 playoffs, particularly in the NBA Finals, was a testament to his importance to the team. However, despite the championship and Davis's clear impact on the court, concerns about his long-term health have continued to linger. Over the course of his career, Davis has been plagued by a series of injuries. Whether it's his Achilles, groin, or knee, Davis has had to battle through significant setbacks that have limited his ability to stay on the court for a full season. These recurring injuries have raised doubts about his ability to remain the franchise cornerstone the Lakers hoped for in the long run. While Davis is undoubtedly one of the most skilled and versatile big men in NBA history, his injury history has cast a shadow over his legacy and future with the Lakers. The Lakers, aware of these concerns, began to shift their focus. With LeBron James approaching the twilight of his career, the Lakers needed to secure the future of the franchise, and that meant finding a superstar who could lead them in the post-LeBron era. Enter Luka Dončić. The Lakers saw Luka as the perfect player to eventually take the reins of the team. While Davis's elite defensive ability was indispensable to the Lakers' championship run in 2020, his injuries had slowed his ability to be the team's constant anchor. The Lakers needed more consistency, and with Luka Dončić in the fold, they believed the future of the franchise was secure. As Davis now heads to the Dallas Mavericks, his role changes once again. He's no longer the second star alongside LeBron, but rather the primary defensive force in a franchise seeking to balance its offensive and defensive identity. For Davis, this move represents a fresh start, and if he can stay healthy, he has the potential to be the key player who leads the Mavericks into title contention. His presence on defense will allow the Mavericks to shore up their weaknesses, particularly as they build around Luka Dončić and Kyrie Irving. But the question remains, can Davis stay healthy for the duration of the season and contribute at the highest level? If he can, there's little doubt that he will help the Mavericks become one of the most dangerous teams in the Western Conference. But as history has shown, Anthony Davis's career will always be defined by the balance between his immense talent and his fragile health. Whether he can fulfill his potential with the Mavericks will depend on his ability to stay on the floor and lead a team in pursuit of a championship. As the 2023-24 NBA season unfolded, the Dallas Mavericks found themselves on the verge of greatness. Led by the incomparable Luka Dončić, the Mavericks made an incredible playoff run, ultimately reaching the NBA Finals. Luka, with his unmatched offensive talent, carried the team, averaging an astounding 33.9 points per game, a league-leading performance that showcased his ability to dominate and put the team on his back. However, despite his heroics, the Mavs fell short in the finals, losing to the Boston Celtics in a hard-fought series. The loss was a bitter pill to swallow, but it revealed a glaring truth. While Luka is undoubtedly one of the most talented players in the world, the team around him wasn't balanced enough to consistently compete at the highest level. It became evident that the Mavericks, despite having one of the most prolific offensive forces in the game, were missing a crucial piece: elite defense. While Luka Dončić was able to carry the offense, the Mavericks struggled to contain opposing teams, particularly in high-stakes situations like the finals. Their defense was inconsistent, and their overall roster lacked the type of depth and versatility that championship teams are built on. Luka, as incredible as he was, could not single-handedly elevate the team to the title without significant help on the other side of the ball. They needed someone who could anchor the defense, protect the rim, and provide a stable presence down low, something Luka alone couldn't deliver. In short, it was clear that the Mavericks needed a defensive powerhouse to complement their offensive genius, someone who could balance the team's identity and take some of the pressure off their star player. On the other hand, the Los Angeles Lakers were in a very different situation, yet one that was just as critical to address. After securing the 2020 NBA championship, the Lakers found themselves in a familiar position of needing to retool and rebuild around their star player, LeBron James. However, LeBron's career was drawing closer to its end, with age starting to catch up to the aging superstar. LeBron's greatness was undeniable, but as he entered his late 30s, it was clear that the team's future needed to be secured for the years to come. This placed immense pressure on the Lakers' front office to make the right decisions for their long-term outlook. At the same time, Anthony Davis, while still an elite player on the defensive end, was becoming a significant concern for the Lakers due to his injury history. Davis's ability to stay healthy had been inconsistent throughout his career, and it became increasingly evident that his body, while immensely talented, could not be relied upon to lead the Lakers consistently. His injuries were a constant storyline, and the Lakers could not afford to gamble with his health when their window for championship contention was closing. With LeBron James nearing the end of his career, it was imperative that the Lakers find a young superstar who could help lead the team into the future, someone who could carry the torch after LeBron eventually retired. The front office recognized that in Luka Dončić, they were staring at the perfect opportunity to secure the future of the franchise. Luka's skills, his ability to take over games, his basketball IQ, and his leadership qualities made him the ideal player to carry the Lakers forward. Unlike Davis, Luka was relatively injury-free, and his durability was something the Lakers desperately needed. Luka's offensive brilliance paired with his ability to elevate the players around him made him a once-in-a-generation talent that could provide both short-term success alongside LeBron and long-term stability once LeBron retired. Thus, it became clear that the Lakers needed to make a move to acquire Luka Dončić to set them up for future success, even if it meant parting with Anthony Davis. From the Mavericks' perspective, the trade was driven by a desire to secure Luka's legacy as the franchise's cornerstone while also improving their championship chances in the short term. Adding Anthony Davis, an elite defender who could immediately impact the team on both ends of the floor, gave the Mavericks a new dynamic. With Davis anchoring the defense and Luka continuing to lead the offense, the Mavericks could now have the balanced roster necessary to compete for an NBA title. The pairing of Luka and Davis was designed to create a more complete team, one capable of matching up with the league's top contenders and defending their way to a championship. For the Lakers, the decision to pursue Luka Dončić over Anthony Davis was a strategic move aimed at securing the franchise's future in the post-LeBron era. Luka's youth, offensive firepower, and ability to carry a team with his skills made him the ideal successor to LeBron James. It also allowed the Lakers to shift their focus to building around Luka as the new face of the franchise, with the hope that he would bring the team back to championship contention while keeping the Lakers competitive for years to come. The Dončić for Davis trade was not just a simple swap of players. It was a pivotal decision that reshaped the future of both teams. For the Dallas Mavericks, it was about building a championship-caliber roster around Luka, while for the Los Angeles Lakers, it was about transitioning to a new era with Luka at the helm, ensuring the franchise's success long after LeBron James departs. Both teams were looking to adjust to the changing landscape of the league, and this trade was their answer to securing that future. Los Angeles Lakers, a new era begins. For the Los Angeles Lakers, this trade is not just about acquiring a superstar player, it's about setting the stage for a generational transition. The arrival of Luka Dončić marks the dawn of a new chapter for the franchise, one that begins the post-LeBron James era with a player who is already regarded as one of the best in the league. At just 25 years old, Luka is primed to become the new face of the Lakers. His offensive brilliance and ability to elevate those around him make him an immediate centerpiece for the team, and he has the potential to carry the Lakers for the next decade. But the true value of Luka's acquisition isn't just his immediate impact, it's the long-term vision. LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time, is nearing the end of his career. For the Lakers, securing Luka ensures that the franchise will continue to be relevant in the years following LeBron's eventual retirement. Luka's combination of scoring, playmaking, and leadership is something that can carry the Lakers through a new era of NBA basketball, making him the perfect heir to LeBron's throne. The partnership of Luka Dončić and LeBron James could very well go down as one of the most formidable duos in NBA history, combining Luka's youthful energy with LeBron's experience and unmatched basketball IQ. However, this transition won't be without challenges. Luka has always been the primary ball handler for his team, and his game is built around a high-usage style of play. Adjusting Luka to a system where he's not the only ball handler, and where he shares the floor with LeBron, will require careful balancing. The Lakers will need to find a way to integrate Luka's dominant offensive style while also making sure LeBron still has the freedom to operate at his peak. This dual playmaking role could make the Lakers' offense even more dynamic, but it also risks creating tension in the flow of the game, especially when both players are used to controlling the ball in crucial moments. Furthermore, while Luka Dončić is a brilliant offensive talent, his defensive limitations have been well documented. The Lakers will need to shore up their defense around him, particularly in crucial matchups. This means not only adding strong defenders to the roster, but also ensuring that Luka can hold his own on defense against some of the league's best offensive players. The Lakers will need to find a way to complement Luka's weaknesses without losing his offensive brilliance. This is a challenge that will require strong coaching and roster construction in the coming seasons. Dallas Mavericks, a more balanced team. On the other hand, the Dallas Mavericks emerge from this trade with a much more balanced team, one that is built to compete both offensively and defensively. The addition of Anthony Davis is a game-changer for the Mavericks, and he brings a level of defense that they desperately needed. As one of the best defenders in the league, Davis provides elite rim protection, exceptional rebounding, and solid offensive skills, especially in the post and mid-range game. His presence on the court will allow the Mavericks to be much more versatile defensively, with Davis being able to anchor the paint and disrupt opposing offenses. This is something that Luka has lacked in his time with Dallas, as the team has often struggled with defensive consistency. Anthony Davis also brings a sense of stability to the Mavericks' front line that they've been missing. With Davis as their defensive centerpiece, the Mavericks will be able to compete with the most physical teams in the league and match up against some of the NBA's top stars. His ability to lock down opposing big men and protect the rim will be crucial in their pursuit of a championship, and he will give the Mavericks a fighting chance against teams that rely on dominant interior players. Davis could also help open up the offense for Kyrie Irving, who will now have the freedom to focus on his own scoring and playmaking abilities without the pressure of being the sole creator on the team. With Davis providing a strong defensive foundation, Kyrie will be able to take his game to another level, potentially becoming an even bigger offensive force. However, the risks for the Mavericks are also significant. Anthony Davis's durability has always been a concern, and the Mavericks are now taking on a player with a history of injuries. While Davis's talents are undeniable, his ability to stay healthy over the course of a long season, particularly in the grueling playoff stretch, will be a key factor in determining whether this trade will pay off for Dallas. The Mavericks are essentially betting on Davis's health. If he can stay on the court and play at the elite level he's capable of, Dallas could become a legitimate title contender. But if injuries continue to plague Davis, the Mavericks may find themselves with another star who can't remain consistently available when it matters most. Another potential risk for the Mavericks lies in how they will adapt to life without Luka's offensive brilliance. Luka has been the engine of the Mavericks' offense since he entered the league, and without him, they could lose a bit of the offensive identity that made them so dangerous. While Kyrie Irving is an excellent scorer and playmaker, he has yet to prove he can consistently lead a team to the highest level of success on his own. The balance that Davis brings will help, but there's no denying that Luka's playmaking and scoring were crucial to the Mavericks' success. How the team adapts to a new offensive system without Luka running the show will be a key factor in their ability to compete at the highest level. Ultimately, the Dallas Mavericks have traded for one of the best defensive players in the world, but the success of the trade will depend on Davis's health and how well the team can adapt to a more defense-oriented approach. If Davis can stay healthy and the Mavericks can find offensive rhythm, they could be positioned to contend for a championship, but if injury woes continue, they may find themselves struggling to find the right chemistry. Both teams have made significant gains from this trade, but there are clear risks involved for each side. The Lakers have secured their future with Luka Dončić, ensuring that they will remain competitive even after LeBron James retires. However, their challenge will be finding a way to integrate Luka and LeBron while also bolstering their defense. The Mavericks, on the other hand, have improved their defense significantly with Anthony Davis, but they are now tasked with keeping him healthy and finding the right offensive balance without Luka. Only time will tell which team truly came out on top in this historic trade. The Luka Dončić for Anthony Davis trade is a game-changing move that will send ripples throughout the entire NBA. This monumental trade doesn't just affect the two teams involved. It has far-reaching implications across the league, especially in terms of team dynamics, conference power balances, and the future of superstar trades in the NBA. Perhaps the most immediate and impactful change from this trade is the transformation of the Western Conference. The West has always been a battleground, and this trade intensifies the already fierce competition. With Luka Dončić joining the Los Angeles Lakers, the team becomes an even more formidable force in the West. The combination of Luka Dončić and LeBron James creates a tandem that could rival any in NBA history, making the Lakers the team to beat in the coming years. Their offensive firepower, especially in the postseason, will put immense pressure on every other contender in the conference. On the other side, the Dallas Mavericks, now fortified with the addition of Anthony Davis, also become much more competitive. Davis's elite defense provides the Mavericks with a new identity, one that could match the offensive might of teams like the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets. With Kyrie Irving as a potent offensive weapon and Davis's rim protection and rebounding ability, the Mavericks are positioned to challenge the top teams in the West, especially in a playoff series where defense often makes all the difference. This shift forces teams that are already contenders in the West, such as the Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors, and Phoenix Suns, to recalibrate. The Nuggets, coming off a championship victory, now face the challenge of defending their crown in a conference that has just gotten much stronger. The Suns, with their revamped roster and the emergence of Kevin Durant as their centerpiece, now face even tougher competition as they seek to contend. Meanwhile, the Warriors, with their own aging stars and a transitioning roster, have to assess their ability to match up against the new-look Lakers and Mavericks. The West is now more loaded than ever, and this trade has set the stage for what could be one of the most competitive eras in NBA history. Every contender now faces a new level of pressure, and adjustments will be necessary. Teams will need to focus not just on their offense but on improving their defense to counter the rising powers in Los Angeles and Dallas. This trade also sets a bold precedent for superstar trades in the NBA. The deal exemplifies how teams are no longer simply focused on building around one superstar. Now, we're seeing franchises make bold moves to acquire multiple top-tier players, creating powerhouses designed to contend for championships. Luka Dončić, one of the youngest superstars in the league, being traded for a veteran like Anthony Davis, whose value is tied to his defense and rebounding rather than scoring, signals that teams are willing to take calculated risks with long-term strategies in mind. For the Lakers, this trade is not just about securing another championship with LeBron James. It's a move designed to ensure they remain competitive for years to come, with Luka becoming the central figure after LeBron's inevitable retirement. The Dallas Mavericks, on the other hand, have shown that they're not afraid to move their star player, Luka, for the right assets, something that will make other teams re-evaluate their own roster construction and trade strategies. The Mavs have essentially committed to the notion that defensive dominance and a more balanced roster, centered around Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, could be the key to future success, even if it means moving away from Luka's offensive genius. This trade may also trigger other teams to follow suit in their pursuit of superstar talents. The league could see a rise in high-profile trades for younger players, as franchises look to seize opportunities to build their rosters with stars who fit the championship window. Teams will be more inclined to make bold moves in the hopes of quickly pivoting and competing with the rising powers in the West. Expect a trend where franchises aggressively go after talented players who have the potential to lead them into the future, much like the Lakers did with Luka and the Mavericks did with Davis. The trade also signals the continuing evolution of the super team era in the NBA. While many teams have tried to build super teams by signing top free agents, this deal exemplifies the rise of trade-based super teams, where teams can acquire their desired star player through bold trades rather than waiting for the free agent market. With both the Lakers and the Mavericks making major moves to better position themselves, other franchises are likely to take similar risks in hopes of creating their own championship-caliber teams. The concept of the win-now mentality is further cemented by this trade. Both teams are clearly focused on securing immediate success, whether it's the Lakers looking to maximize LeBron's final seasons or the Mavericks aiming for a new level of competitiveness. For franchises around the league, this could spark an even more aggressive approach to trading for superstars who are viewed as the key to unlocking title contention. The trade also places even greater value on defensive-minded players like Anthony Davis, who can anchor a team's defense and act as the foundation upon which offensive players can thrive. In an era where offense is often prioritized, this trade shows the importance of having a defensive superstar who can complement offensive talent. Davis is a reminder that to win championships, it's not just about having multiple scoring threats. It's about having a balanced, well-rounded roster that can excel on both ends of the floor. In addition to reshaping the Western Conference, the Dončić-Davis trade will have ripple effects across the entire NBA. Teams in both conferences will have to take stock of their current rosters and reevaluate how they stack up against these new powerhouses. We could see an influx of trades, as franchises attempt to counterbalance the new juggernauts in Los Angeles and Dallas. The trade also places more pressure on other Eastern Conference contenders, like the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, to make their own moves in order to remain competitive. These teams may now have to think about acquiring more star power or bolstering their defensive capabilities to prepare for the growing challenges coming out of the West. In the long term, this trade is a major signal that NBA teams are shifting their strategies and focusing on building for the future while still maintaining a competitive edge in the present. With superstars like Luka Dončić and Anthony Davis changing hands, it's clear that the balance of power in the NBA is shifting, and teams must adapt accordingly if they want to keep up. The Dončić-Davis trade is a defining moment in NBA history, one that will reshape the league for years to come. It redefines how teams approach building their rosters, the value of superstar players, and how franchises position themselves for championship contention. The Western Conference is now more competitive than ever, and the NBA's landscape is poised for dramatic changes in the seasons ahead. This trade could very well be the start of a new era in basketball. For Luka Dončić, this trade represents one of the most significant transitions of his young career. Moving from Dallas, where he was the undisputed face of the franchise, to a high-profile team like the Los Angeles Lakers is a monumental shift that comes with a new set of expectations, pressures, and opportunities. While Luka has always been in the spotlight as one of the brightest young stars in the league, his move to Los Angeles places him under an even greater magnifying glass, both on and off the court. In Dallas, Luka was the sole star around which everything revolved. The franchise was built with the vision of him being the centerpiece for years to come. He was expected to carry the team on his back, to be the primary scorer, playmaker, and leader. He had the freedom to dominate games and make the Mavericks his own team, and for the most part, he did so impressively, racking up individual accolades, record-breaking performances, and playoff appearances. However, despite his incredible individual achievements, Luka's teams were often criticized for lack of depth and the inability to challenge the league's top contenders for a championship. Now, with his trade to the Lakers, Luka enters a completely different environment. While he may no longer have the freedom he enjoyed in Dallas, where the team was built around him, he now becomes part of a historically successful franchise with a roster already featuring one of the greatest players in NBA history, LeBron James. The magnitude of playing alongside a legend like LeBron, in the basketball mecca of Los Angeles, is undeniable. The expectations will be higher than ever. The move to Los Angeles adds immense pressure to Luka's career. The Lakers are a team that is built on the legacy of legends: Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, and, of course, LeBron James. Any player joining the Lakers is immediately compared to the greats who wore that jersey before them. For Luka, this means his every move will be analyzed and scrutinized, not just by local fans, but by a global audience. The Los Angeles Lakers are not just a team, they are a global brand, and Luka is now the focal point of that brand's future. However, this pressure comes with a silver lining. Luka, who has already proven himself as one of the best players in the league, now has the chance to build on that legacy by competing for championships in a market where titles are the ultimate measure of success. The Lakers are accustomed to championship contention, and anything less than a title will be seen as a disappointment. The Lakers fan base is extremely passionate, and they expect their stars to deliver immediate results. Luka will be thrust into this high-stakes environment, where the spotlight is constantly on him. Every game will be a test of his ability to handle pressure, lead a team, and perform at the highest level. While the pressure is high, the potential rewards are equally immense. Should Luka succeed in leading the Lakers to championship glory, his legacy would be solidified in a way that would be difficult to replicate. Winning a title with the Lakers, especially after joining the team in the middle of its title window, would not only cement Luka's place in NBA history, but it would also elevate him to a level reserved for the league's all-time greats. In Los Angeles, titles are not just expected, they are demanded. This is a city that has seen some of the greatest basketball players of all time, and Luka now has the chance to write his own chapter in Lakers history. Leading the team to success, whether by combining forces with LeBron or by carrying the mantle himself in the post-LeBron era, would ensure that Luka is remembered not just as an exceptional talent, but as someone who could deliver in the most pressure-filled moments. Additionally, Luka's ability to adapt to playing with LeBron James, learning from one of the greatest minds in the game, will be a key factor in his growth. LeBron's experience, basketball IQ, and leadership will undoubtedly shape Luka's development as a player. This partnership could become one of the most dynamic duos in the history of the NBA, with LeBron providing guidance and Luka taking the lead on the court. The future is bright for Luka Dončić in Los Angeles, but it's also uncertain. His journey from being the face of the Mavericks to taking over as the new face of the Lakers will require him to evolve in ways that go beyond his already impressive offensive game. It's clear that Luka has all the tools to be the best player in the league, but his success with the Lakers will depend on how well he adjusts to playing within a system that balances individual brilliance with a team-first approach. The challenge will lie in integrating with his teammates, including LeBron, and adapting his style of play to ensure that the team operates as a cohesive unit. The added emphasis on defense, which has been a question mark in Luka's game, will also be a critical part of his journey to greatness in Los Angeles. Moreover, Luka's role in shaping the post-LeBron era for the Lakers will be an important narrative. While the team is focused on maximizing LeBron's remaining years, Luka's growth and eventual leadership will signal the next chapter for the Lakers franchise. The post-LeBron Lakers will belong to Luka, and how he handles that responsibility will define his legacy in Los Angeles and the NBA as a whole. Ultimately, for Luka Dončić, the trade to the Lakers is more than just a career move, it's a defining moment in his life as a basketball player. The road ahead is filled with challenges, but also with the potential for greatness. If Luka can handle the pressure, lead the Lakers to championships, and continue to elevate his game, he will undoubtedly cement his place among the NBA's all-time legends. The future is in his hands, and what he does with this opportunity will determine the trajectory of his storied career. No matter how the story unfolds, this trade is already cemented as one of the most impactful and game-changing transactions in NBA history. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks have both made bold moves that will define their franchises for years to come, and the ramifications will be felt across the entire league. For the Lakers, this trade marks the beginning of a new era. With Luka Dončić, they've secured a generational talent who is capable of carrying the franchise into the post-LeBron future. The combination of LeBron James and Luka on the same team creates one of the most formidable duos in the NBA, one that could rival some of the best partnerships in league history. But even more important is what this move means beyond LeBron. The Lakers have positioned themselves to be competitive for years to come, with Luka at the helm, building around his unique skill set, basketball IQ, and leadership potential. While the adjustment to Luka's style of play will require time, the upside is undeniable. If Luka can embrace the challenge of playing alongside LeBron and adjusting to the team system, the Lakers could become even more dangerous in the coming seasons, with Luka leading them in the post-LeBron era. For the Dallas Mavericks, the acquisition of Anthony Davis is equally monumental. In Davis, the Mavericks have added a defensive powerhouse, someone who can completely reshape their defensive identity and provide the team with the kind of rim protection and rebounding that they've desperately needed. While Luka's offensive brilliance has been the driving force behind the Mavs' success, Davis adds a crucial complementary piece in the form of a dominant presence on the other side of the court. With Davis anchoring the defense and Kyrie Irving adding his offensive spark, the Mavericks now have a much more balanced roster, ready to challenge for a deep playoff run. However, just as with any trade of this magnitude, the success of the deal will depend on how each team adapts. For the Lakers, Luka's development in a new system and his ability to mesh with LeBron will be key. For the Mavericks, Davis's health will ultimately determine how far they can go. Will Davis remain healthy and perform at an elite level? Will Luka be able to shine in Los Angeles while adjusting to playing with one of the best players of all time? Only time will tell. This trade has the potential to reshape the landscape of the NBA for the next decade. The Western Conference, already one of the most competitive in sports, just became even more intense. Teams like the Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors, Phoenix Suns, and others will now have to recalibrate, knowing that both the Lakers and the Mavericks are more dangerous than ever. In many ways, this trade signals a shift in team-building philosophies. With both teams securing superstar players in their prime, the trade sets a new precedent for the kind of blockbuster moves that can change the course of a franchise's future. It highlights the growing emphasis on creating a championship window with players who can deliver immediately and lead for years to come. While this trade is still in its early stages, its legacy is already taking shape. Whether it results in championships, deep playoff runs, or franchise revitalization, it will be remembered as a moment that altered the course of NBA history. Fans across the league are buzzing with anticipation, eagerly awaiting to see how Luka and Davis will fit into their new roles and whether these two future Hall of Famers can deliver on their immense potential. One thing is for certain, the trade of the century has set the stage for some unforgettable basketball. The future of the NBA has just gotten a lot more exciting. Now, it's your turn to join the conversation. This trade is a game changer, and we're eager to know where you stand. Who do you think won this monumental trade? Will Luka Dončić rise to the occasion and lead the Los Angeles Lakers to yet another NBA championship? With his offensive genius, the stage is set for Luka to potentially become the next face of the franchise. But can he handle the pressure and expectations that come with playing in LA alongside LeBron James? On the other side, can Anthony Davis regain his dominant form and help Dallas Mavericks finally unlock their full potential? With Davis's defensive prowess and his ability to complement Kyrie Irving, the Mavs now have a more balanced roster. But will his health hold up, and can he take Dallas to the next level? We want to know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think this trade will change the landscape of the NBA for the long term? Will it lead to championships, or will it fizzle out as so many trades have in the past? There's no shortage of excitement and questions, and we're here to break it all down. Don't forget to drop your comments below. We love reading your takes and hearing what you think about these big moves. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another NBA analysis. We've got plenty more content coming your way, covering everything from trades to game breakdowns, player stats, and all things basketball. Let's keep the conversation going and continue to unpack the NBA's biggest stories together.